Hey everyone, in today's video I'll be taking a look at the construction progress of the Hazel McCallion LRT project in Mississauga and Brampton along Hurontario Street. The project is being built a little west of Toronto and will replace the busy north-south bus corridor and make connections to multiple transit agencies. In Brampton, the line will connect to the Brampton Zoom Light BRT routes, and in Mississauga, connections to the Mississauga Transitway, GO Transit's Milton Line, and GO Transit's Lakeshore West Line will be made. Over the last few months since my last update, tracks and poles that will support the overhead wires have been installed along the burn-in track and inside the operations, maintenance, and storage facility. Major construction is mostly in the section of the line between Highway 407, which is the boundary between Mississauga and Brampton, and City Centre, which is Mississauga's downtown area. While the northern and southern sections are mostly undergoing utility relocations, there are some exceptions to this. Starting at the northern terminus of the line is Brampton Gateway Terminal at Steeles in Hurontario, where construction has started to ramp up with more lane closures and utility relocations. While construction seems to be ramping up, the site still looks very similar to how it was a few months ago. Going south to County Court and Ray Lawson stations, some utility relocation has started, but just like Brampton Gateway Terminal, construction of the light rail track bed hasn't started yet. Just south of Highway 407 and roughly 1 kilometer from Hurontario is the yard that will store and maintain the light rail vehicles for the line. The maintenance building looks largely complete from the outside, and inside the building, tracks and access platforms have been built. Tracks wrapping around the facility are also almost fully installed, and the overhead catenary poles have been installed as well. The access road to the facility from Kennedy Road is also under construction. Tracks are also being installed from the maintenance facility to Edwards Boulevard. After a short gap in the trackage, they cross over the roadway and have been laid in the middle of Top Flight Drive. Top Flight Drive is largely closed off except for local traffic, but the tracks have been fully installed. The bases for the catenary poles can also be seen next to the sidewalks. At Top Flight Drive in Hurontario, the junction that will connect the main line to the maintenance facility is currently being built. The first slab of concrete has been poured, and work to complete the necessary utilities and supports is ongoing. Continuing south along Hurontario, a lot of progress has been made on the section that will be used for vehicle testing, known as the burn-in track. Tracks have been installed from just south of Top Flight Drive to various points south along the route, although there are some gaps in the rail installation. At Dury Road, concrete has been poured for the station platform, but no other station amenities can be seen. Moving south to Courtney Park in Hurontario, tracks have been installed through the intersection, but outside of the intersection, tracks have not yet been installed. The platform is also being built, but final concrete pours, shelters, and other station features are not yet ready to be installed. Work has started to dig the trench for the LRT right-of-way along Hurontario above Highway 401. Based off of the partially closed intersection at Britannia, it looks like tracks were recently installed through the intersection, but early works on the platform construction have also started. Like the other stations in this section, Matheson Station has had concrete poured for the platform. According to a tweet from the project's Twitter account, Matheson will be the first station to receive canopies for the platform, and they were supposed to be installed early this year, but have not yet. They will likely be installed soon along the entire section, as most of the platforms are close to being ready for them. At Bristol, construction is taking place to build the track bed and install tracks through the intersection. North and south of Bristol, tracks have started to be installed. Some work has started to dig the trench that will become the base of the light rail right-of-way at Hurontario and Eglinton. Continuing towards Mississauga City Centre, the elevated guideway has started to be built, with more sections of the guideway now up and additions to the guideway sections started. From underneath the guideway, we can see that concrete has been poured to create the base of the guideway sections, and more panels on the sides of the guideways have been installed. The elevated guideway has been constructed along Hurontario and towards City Centre, but the connection between the two branches hasn't been built yet. Some of the early supports for the retaining wall near City Centre can also be seen from Rathburn Road. Construction of the station at City Centre is in the early stages, with very little large-scale construction of the right-of-way or platform. I do wish that a new station building had been built to improve the transfer between my way, the LRT line, and GO buses, as it's currently going to be an outdoor walk, but this alignment does protect for a planned extension for a downtown loop. The downtown loop was part of the originally approved project, but was later put on hold, although there have been renewed interest in it from the provincial and municipal governments recently, and may even be extended to operate longer than originally proposed. Moving past the large amount of construction near City Centre is Roberts Beck and Burnhamthorpe stations, which are still in the early stages with lane closures and utility relocations. Fairview Station, like many of the other southern stations, has not yet seen much large-scale work on the LRT right-of-way, but utility relocation work seems to be continuing. Some more work seems to be ongoing at Cooksville GO on the west side of Hurontario, but construction of the light rail right-of-way hasn't started yet. The stations at Dundas and the Queensway are also mainly focused on utility relocations at the moment. Little progress has been made on the push box under the QEW that was pushed into place last fall, which will one day be the new northern lanes of Hurontario Street. At North Service and Mineola stations, work is still in the very early stages, with utility relocations still taking place. At Port Credit GO, the push box that will house the light rail station has been pushed completely into place. Work to clear the site and build the platforms will hopefully start in the next couple of months. Also at Port Credit is the Mary Fix Creek, which is almost fully revitalized with a brand new concrete creek bed. The Hazel McCallion light rail project is expected to be substantially complete by the end of 2024, and with rail installation ongoing on a significant portion of the route already going on, it should be possible, but we will need to see how long it takes the less progressed sections of the line. Once rail is installed on the Bornan track south of the maintenance facility, the next step will be continuing to install poles to support the overhead wires, and then of course to install and energize the wires. After the infrastructure is installed and vehicle deliveries start, testing of the light rail vehicles will start. I don't imagine this will begin until next year though, as there is still a lot to do, and some early testing will likely be able to take place in the yard.